Hi, Ms. Stevenson with you again with another art activity for the week. And I showed another kind of painting activity this week. And it was about the artist Jackson Pollock. And this time I'm also going to show another painting activity. And this time it's about printmaking. So printmaking is when you use different objects to make a mark on a page. This is printmaking using stamps. Okay, now you don't have to have stamps at home to do this kind of printmaking. I'm going to show you different things that you can make marks with that you might have around your house. So the first thing I have is a toilet roll that I cut in half because you don't need the whole thing to be really long. I cut it in half and I want to make circles. So I have yellow and light blue and dark blue and red and white. Okay, and I have a white piece of paper. Now, normally when you do painting at home, normally you would put down some newspapers or a tablecloth that can get really dirty in case your paint gets around, but I don't have that today because I have this. I don't know if you guys have ever seen. This is my art table and it's already, this is only for art. So that's why I don't use newspaper or a tablecloth, because I have a special table that is for art and I don't mind if it gets messy. But in your house, you might want to ask a grown-up for something to put down to cover the table. Okay? Now, I am going to dip my tube into the paint. See here? See how it has paint all around? And now I can just put it straight down on the paper. And I find that I can stamp it down a few times before the paint runs out. See, I just got some paint on it again, and now I can stamp it quite a few times before the paint is gone. So I'll show you what that looks like so far. Okay. There's the yellow. And I've spaced some of them apart and some of them I overlapped on top of each other. Okay. So I'm going to use the other half of that tube. And I think I'll do blue. This one I'm putting in both my colors of blue. There we are. I've got some blue rings on my page. And we'll do one more color. I'll do red. There, I've got some red circles from the tubes. So those are some prints you can make with tube circles. Now, another kind of printmaking you can do, and you can do different things all on the same page if you want to, but another one you can do is with a little box. I've got a little soap box here, and you can, if you want to make a different shape, you can dip a different shape in paint. What kind of shape do you think that's going to make? What do we think? Did you say rectangle? We've got 2 short sides and 2 long sides and 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. It's a rectangle. You can turn your rectangle different ways. See there? You can also stamp the other side. The other side will pick up a lot more paint, so you have to be a little bit more careful. See how it picked up so much paint? I don't want there to be that much paint, so I'm going to use my paintbrush to spread it out. So that's too much for me. There we go. Look at that. So it's still making rectangles. This side, the shape is all filled in with color. This side, it's just the outline of a rectangle. Isn't that neat? Here's a couple of other things, a couple of other options that I wanted to show for printmaking. You could make prints with Q-tips. Q-tips make little circles. You could also make prints. I've got some string here. You could make prints with string. String's a little bit more tricky. It's a little bit messier. I'm going to put the end of my string in some paint. Drag it across the page. Look at that. String can make prints as well. And there's one more thing I wanted to show. I wanted to show you how it can look if you have colored paper. If you have colored paper, you can use, here's another tube that I have. If you have colored paper, you can use white. I like experimenting with colored paper a lot with printmaking because it makes a totally different effect when you do it with colored paper. See, it's the same type of thing. I'll compare the two. It's the same type of thing, but it looks very different when you experiment with the color of paper. You can even, here I'm going to mix some color together. Hopefully the camera will see this really well. Friends in OK1, we're doing some experimenting with colors. So you could even mix some of your paint colors together, see if you can make new colors. So here we have a color that I mixed together. Let's see if the camera can pick it up. Now you could ask your parents or your grown-ups at home about other things that you could use for printmaking. There are many, many things that you can use, but before you stick your things around the house in paint, you need to ask first if it's okay. You don't want to use something that is going to make somebody upset, right? There, can you see what color I have? Some of the circles are, well, ovals are white and some are pink. Doesn't that look neat? Add one more color. And you can keep layering and layering and layering. I always say the artwork is done when you say it is done, because you are the artist. So if you want to do just a few on here, that's fine. But if you want to do lots and lots and lots and add lots of different colors, that's fine too, because it's your art. And it's done when you say it's done. Doesn't that look so neat? I'm having a lot of fun doing this, friends. And I don't know if you were paying attention, but I was being pretty careful with what I was doing here, and I don't have a big mess, right? Just because we're painting does not mean we have to get super duper messy, right? If we take our time and we're careful, then we don't need to make a big mess. A mess won't really happen. Now, when you are done painting, I'm really happy with this one. I think I'm finished. I think the way it looks is neat. I added some yellow. When you are done, it's really important to put your painting aside where it's not going to be in anybody's way. In my house, I always have to make sure that my paintings are sitting somewhere that my cats are not going to walk, because then they'll get their feet in paint and that will make a mess. Some of my friends in OK1 have to make sure they put their artwork up high where little brothers and sisters don't get it. So always make sure that you put your things away to dry in a spot where it's going to be safe. And always make sure that you clean up after yourself. I have 2 paintbrushes here that I need to wash, or they're going to get, the paint's going to harden on them and they're going to get ruined. I won't be able to use them again. So I need to make sure that I wash my paintbrushes, and I need to make sure that I wash my palette. Whatever you put paint on, that's called your palette. I need to wash my palette so that I can use it again. Right? Make sure that things that you're finished with and you're not going to use again go into the garbage can. Part of doing artwork is being responsible for your own mess. So if you're having fun creating, then you also need to be responsible and make sure your things get put away properly. Okay? Have fun, friends. I can't wait to see the beautiful prints that you make with your printmaking paintings. See you next time.